I'll show you the silver cards again because we were on Facebook and I forgot to turn on YouTube. Yelich, Casey Mize rookie, Andres Jimenez rookie, and Ozzie Smith. So that was a silver pack. I would say, what is fake news, Alex? Anyways. So, all about that base, We've got Shohei Ohtani. Again, these cards, a little bit of controversy. Especially those that show the top certified autograph printing on it. I don't feel like a reprint should have that on there because that's just... Then what's the point of printing it on the card, really? Seth Lugo. Not to mention, what if you see one of those cards with actual ink on it? Newer collector might not know better. Christian Pache. Chipper Jones. Oh, man. We've just been seeing a lot of Buster Posey lately. We've pulled 3 of his short prints. 2 were in the same break. And we're only into 2.5 cases of tops so far. 2 jumbos, and now this will be half a case of hobbies once we finish this break. Nate Pearson there. Willie Mays. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad one. I believe that is... Oh, man, I can't remember the name of that one. I think it's CGS. Something like that. Jimenez, Madrigal, Alec Boehm. So, hey, if you can grade a comic book, you should be able to grade a card. I would think it's harder to grade a comic book than a card, to be honest. Jordan Alvarez, Leody Taveras, Evan White, Luis Garcia. And since they're already an accepted standard for their industry, and well respected in the collectible community, I don't think the crossover will be as tough. 207 out of 499. Although the hybrid one, there's Danny Mendick, probably has the nicest looking slabs out of any company. And, you know, appearance is important in this hobby. It's why we like to buy certain parallels, certain colors over others, right? Rather have the solid gold than the gold wave. But changing the look of the printout, you would think shouldn't be too hard for the bigger companies. But I think they got so much volume. Well, PSA is a membership. But you also got to remember, reputation is everything in this business. All right, and you know, I mean, you look at breaks. We've been around for years now, and there's going to be people who are going to be wary of guys who've only been breaking for 2 months. And they're breaking 2 blaster boxes at a time. And then they say, just give us a week, they're coming in the mail. We just needed y'all's money first. I don't know. Mo Rivera, Platinum Players. And you find out that they're 11. Shiny. And 2 more here. All right. All about that base, about that base. Chris Bubick.
Loki, you're so cute and adorable.
Bo Burrows, Bo Bichette, other people not named Bo. Christian Yelich.
I'm not named Bo.
You are not, that's correct. Tristan McKenzie, top pitching prospect for the Indians. A lot of pitching this year, but a lot of good pitching. These aren't guys that are going to be middle relievers or fifth starters every other week. These are solid, top of the rotation guys, 1s, 2s, 3s. There is a lot of good pitching in this year's Series 1. Don't let the amount of pitchers throw you off. Ruiz, Mountcastle. Well, you know what happened was Vladimir Guerrero used to eat his when he wasn't looking. Evan White, nice little throwback card there. But yeah, he's wiry, that's for sure. David Peterson, Anderson Tejada. Maybe after his first bonus, he'll be able to bulk up a little bit. Ozzie Albies, Major League material. Ozzie Albies, Braves, get the first hit. Ian Anderson, another one. I mean, seriously, any of the top 20 rookies in this set, a lot of them are worth holding on to. Some might be worth flipping now, but other ones probably worth holding on to. There's a lot of dishes.
What?
Nothing. They hear you clanking dishes.
Oh, I meant to the dishwasher.
Yes.
Sorry. I'll be.
Oh, that's an
loading
interesting
again
one.
soon.
I guess that's not numbered. It's just one parallel. So even though we've seen her hit, these boxes are loaded with possibility even beyond that hit, which makes the hobby just that much more valuable this year. It's not like when you buy, one of last year's later series, Series 2 or Update, and you're really looking for just one card and a good hit. Then, maybe you get an SP. But odds aren't so much in your favor. Then you're better off going with the jumbo. With these, I still slightly prefer the jumbos, but either way is a good buy this year. Tops don't explain nothing to nobody. That includes customer service issues. I got lucky the last time I was on the phone with someone from Tops. I got a good rep, although I still haven't seen my $200 card in the mail, and this is going on probably a month, so I'm probably going to have to call again. Jesus Sanchez. Joe Adele. Yeah, you guys got like 60-degree weather now, right? All that ice is just melted away. Ken Griffey Jr. So hopefully no extremely adverse effects for you out there. Barry Larkin. Yeah, with that craziness traveling across the country, we chose to stay in Florida a couple extra days. So you think the Giants have all the tools together to put a pennant? I don't know, man. It's an odd-numbered year. They're an even-year team. You got Joey Gallo. I guess that's the bluish parallel. So not numbered, but usually the next step up There's Brady Singer. Spencer Howard. Tariq Skubal. Bo Bichette. Luis Patino. He was also used as trade bait in the offseason. Yeah, if Joey Bart can hit, which I think he will. You know, does Marco Luciano end up joining the club? With as loaded as Series 1 is, there's still a chance that Series 2 and Update could have some big players potentially as well. You gotta love those odds. You got your Marco Lucianos, your Wander Francos, guys who maybe this year, especially with minor league baseball coming back, we got a shot at seeing these guys get an opportunity at the big show. Oh my.
All right, I give you more than 5 minutes.
We got an autograph here. So, Cabrian Hayes. We got a silver pack auto. That's always a good thing. And this is a guy who's going to be held over for Series 2. He did not make the initial checklist. Max Scherzer. Don Mattingly. What did Cabrian Hayes, 376 average and 85 at bats, 5 home runs, 7 doubles. All right, that's coming off of a 30 double, 10 home run season in the minors last year. It's pretty impressive. Numbered 140 out of 150. Rangers, Anderson Tejada. Rangers, Anderson Tejada. So even if we don't get an autograph in the next 2 boxes, we got an autograph out of the silver pack. Remember, it's Topps flagship. It's all about that base, about that base. That is for real. Got a die cut here. Brooks Robinson. Next up. Well, there's that Pete Alonso through the years insert. McKenzie. So again, we've seen a lot of the key players already out of the first box. Yeah, but the argument is, do you want to lose a whole year of eligibility by playing them 60 games? That's why a lot of these kids only ended up playing 30 games. You know, Mountcastle only played 35. Minor league kids weren't really playing in games. They were, you know, basically playing against each other. Wilmer Flores, it was practices and scrimmages, all that stuff. Mixed up my piles here. There we go. And there's Casey Mize, Sixto Sanchez, the Big Hurt, and A's, Jesus Luzardo. Is the next hit. I got top loader for that too. A's, Jesus Luzardo with the 86 throwback relic. Next stack of packs. Do I think the Dodgers repeat? Most likely they're in the World Series again. To repeat is difficult. Even just to get back there is hard. But I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Let's see. Dodgers, Mets. I think Dodgers and Mets will be two of the four teams in the playoffs after the wild card game. Oh, that's nice too. Nice little parallel coming up. Yeah, you have to put the Padres in the mix. I think they got all the right stuff there. I think they go in as a wild card. And then somebody's got to come out of the Central, right? Are we thinking the Cardinals have put together what they needed to? Return to relevancy? Other wild card possibilities, maybe the Braves. They just keep getting better and better. Evan White. Austin Meadows. Oh, Carter Kieboom did play a few games last year again. You're putting him in the World Series? Spencer Howard. Hey, with all the money I've spent, with all the money the Padres have spent, you hope they make it to the World Series. They're going to be right in there, that's for sure. Albert Abreu, Scooble. Vlad. Bregman. It's going to be tough to narrow down the American League. I mean, I think the White Sox are ready, especially if Robert breaks out this year. The White Sox are ready to make some noise this year. Will losing Blake Snell be a huge blow to the Rays? Or do they have the talent to replace him? They do have some good talent. They also will be getting back Brendan McKay. You don't know what kind of shape he's going to be back in. There's another Davy Garcia. I think not having Price might have actually been better for them. Is that mean to say? Brady Singer. I think they're better off without David Price. Luis Patino. And check it out. 122 out of 199. The other big Ranger rookie, Leody Taveras. The thing is, we've been saying for years how much talent the Padres had at a minor league level. And as things developed, a few of those pitchers ended up not turning out. Into, big rotation guys. But for the most part, their position players have developed nicely. And now the pitching's coming up. Well, Kershaw will likely get hurt this year, so, Yeah, platinum players. Speaking of Kershaw, right there. So again, we've already seen the hit from this box. We've also seen a nice parallel. We got any juice left in this one? So I think the Mets make the league championship series. I think this year it's going to work out that way. I think something that was missing. I mean, I think Pete Alonso is a great locker room guy, but to have that extra leadership from a guy like Lindor, I hope Lindor likes it so much in New York he sticks around too. You never know. I think the Astros have the potential to still be in the playoffs this year. Yeah, why not? I think their time is winding down, though. Christian Pache is going to be very dependent on re-signing some guys. I mean, they already lost one key guy. And now he's playing in Toronto. And, you know, we didn't really talk Toronto. I talked about the Rays. All right. The Blue Jays are another team that's primed for making some big waves. I think they're going through the same little growing pain that the Padres did as far as their position players are panning out, but some of their pitching hasn't. But they've made some pitching moves this offseason. And I think Nate Pearson's going to be a guy who does stick, even though he had a 6 ERA last year in a very small sample size. What did he pitch, like 5 games or something like that? Ooh, Sixto Sanchez, Marlins. And that is a rainbow foil. He had a decent sample size last year, 7 games. Went 3-2 with a 3.46 ERA on a team that a lot of people thought was going to be like dead last in all of baseball, and they surprised a little bit last year. They got some moxie, that's for sure. There's Andres Jimenez. There's Lindor. Rangers still sitting on a lot of good minor league talent. I don't think their time to come up is yet. You know, the Angels now bringing Joe Adell into the mix. Does Ohtani come back and pitch? Royals are probably the best candidate for a surprise team, only based on the fact that the guys that they have coming up that look pretty solid are all pitchers. 822 out of 2021, Aroldis Chapman. You know, Bobby Witt's still a little ways away, I think. Although with last year being all screwed up, who knows? But I again, would it shock me? No. Would it shock me if they're in 3rd or 4th place in the division? No. Jesus Sanchez, Marlins, you know, Jesus Sanchez, another guy. He only had 10 games, and he did awful. He got 1 hit and 25 at-bats. Awful. But he was a very highly touted prospect. The Marlins have a lot of touted prospects, either up or coming up. So, but I'm sure there's going to be some growing pains and inconsistency. Tigers are primed again. We saw Mize, we saw Skubal. Skubal actually ended up performing the better of the two last year. Again, full season and a little bit of experience under the belt. Who knows? Casey Mize is expected to be a top of the rotation starter. There's Joey Bart. Dylan Carlson. So, Tigers, you know, there's guys lurking. The Riley Greens. What is it? What's that? What's the other pitcher's name? Manning? Matt Manning? He's supposed to be decent, right? Freddie Freeman. So the craze in the hobby, you know, you've got people like Vegas Dave saying that the end is coming. This is my take on it. Look at the class of players that came up from, say, starting 97 to 2000, let's say 2009. All right. There were some good players, don't get me wrong. Kershaw, Verlander, probably going to be Hall of Fame caliber guys. Spencer Torkelson, yeah, can't forget that. He's even a little further down the road. I think Joe Adele's the real deal. Absolutely. I think the Angels' problems is they just don't work well cohesively. Albert Pujols, Hall of Fame guy, first ballot. But he was kind of an albatross for the Angels. They pay him all that money. You know, he's got all these special perks in his contract. You can't just have him sitting on the bench. They probably put a little too much reliance on Ohtani as a pitcher in the beginning. You know, you had the unfortunate situation of a guy who looked like he was a solid middle of the rotation guy, and unfortunately, you know, lost his life due to drug issues. Oh, I forgot to open the silver pack. Justin Upton also, yeah. Let me get that silver pack open. So they just haven't had the right fit around Trout. I think Adele is going to be a good compliment. We got Tristan McKenzie. That's a nice one right there. Buster Posey. Jacob deGrom. And the jilted Nolan Arenado. I think between Dylan Carlson and Arenado, maybe we see a little regression on Arenado overall, but maybe we see Dylan Carlson emerge into the star that they gave up in Arozarena. Oh, man, I bet they kicked themselves after that. I think that the Angels are really just a good ace pitcher away from turning things around. And maybe Pujols does have to take a little bit of a step back. You know, do you want to platoon a guy that makes tens of millions of dollars a year? No, you don't. But could it be the right move? Maybe. Again, Pujols still draws a lot of walks, but his bat speed is considerably down. Yeah, I think Mariners are going to be something to contend with. They made a lot of offseason moves. Some might say some of them were kind of conservative, but again, it's not always just about that blockbuster acquisition. You know, the Mets did have one with Lindor, but if you look at a lot of the moves that the Mets have made this year, it's just been a matter of let's improve here, let's improve there. And if we can make small improvements in the whole team, then the whole team's going to be better. Even improving their bench, all right? Even improving their bullpen. They're middle relievers. Dustin May, Kevin Pillar, those aren't the sexy deals. They're not. But they got one face of the franchise type guy, all right? Now you can get out there DeGrom, Alonso, and Lindor. And that's 3 headliners, and it's beautiful, and one of them's new, and it's exciting. And then, again, a catcher, the Mets, it was a shame Darnon did not do what he did last year, all the years he was with them. Mets have not gotten good production out of their catchers lately. So, is James McCann a better choice than JT Realmuto? Well, let's see. He's like, a third of the price, and he's not injured on day one of the season. So maybe the Mets made a smart move, especially when in your organization you have one of the top catching prospects in Major League Baseball. You're paying McCann for 4 years, but really, you're just happy with 2. 2 is enough. And then the kid comes up. And that is when I'm looking at a team building, oh, great, they brought up this great rookie, but they got rid of the star player at that position. So did you get better? No. Still an exciting rookie, and we're going to sell the crap out of him, but we are. But improvements. Jimenez looked like he was a Major League ready shortstop. Lindor's been the upper echelon for 7 years now. It sucks to lose the rookie. If they can re-sign Lindor, A+ move. And it's a win-win for both teams because the Indians weren't going to re-sign him. So now they got a guy under control who at least showed he could perform. And if he does well, hey, that's even better. I think the Mets need to keep Conforto. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world if somebody comes up that's just as good. I think that Nimmo is very key. Dominic Smith took a while, but I think he developed. A lot of people thought Rosario was going to eclipse Dom Smith, and it didn't happen. 1937 out of 2021, Monty Harrison. Everybody wanted to, after that first season, everybody wanted to buy my Dom Smith autographs for like $2 at shows, and I'd be like, no. It ain't over yet. And they'd give me 8 for Rosario, and now he's gone. No, they don't rush Rutschman. He didn't play a day of Pro Bowl last year. Clayton Kershaw. When you look at guys with major upside that are still approaching their prime years, like Mountcastle, like Austin Hayes, don't ruin a good thing. Give him a year in the minors. See where he ends up. 78 out of 2021, Avisail Garcia. Now, on the opposite end of that spectrum, I do feel like guys who were drafted out of college in 2019 and in 2020. All right, not so much the high school guys. All right, not so much the guys who just just got facial hair for the first time like Jason Dominguez. No, I'm talking about the college guys that got drafted in 19 and 20. You may see them get fast-tracked. You might. Would it be a nice confidence builder to start them out in the minors? Yeah, definitely. All right, especially from last year's draft class that didn't play at all. Well, I mean, Arizona Fall League, take that into consideration too. But there's going to be a few guys who maybe come out of nowhere. Look at a guy like a Jordan Yamamoto, who ironically now is with the Mets. But, the Marlins felt like he had what it took. And they brought him up from Double-A a couple of years ago right to the majors. The numbers weren't exactly there, but while I'm a big numbers guy, you also got to actually look at the player. And he had the look that he was ready to go, and he did respectably. And, he seems like the type of player who's not going to have a setback by getting promoted. He's going to be the type who's going to grow and learn from that experience and become even better. So the fact that the Mets were able to get him, again, I think he's going to be a good anchor, bottom of the rotation type guy. But, the Mets generally are used to having a loaded pitching staff. Noah Syndergaard is the key right there. All right? It's expected that DeGrom gives them a quality year. It's Syndergaard. Is he 100%? And can he be that 1A that he was for the Mets for those years? That's the question mark. That'll be the difference between the NLCS and struggling to get in as a wild card. If he comes back healthy, then he's going to be a lot more expensive, that's for sure. I feel like he's a diehard Met through and through. He literally came in as a throw-in on the Darnod deal. We were talking about him earlier. And Darnod was traded for 2 Cy Young pitchers. He went from the Phillies to the Jays in the Halladay deal, and then Darnod and Syndergaard came over in the R.A. Dickey trade. Joey Bart. He'll be on the roster this season. He's one that I think would have benefited from a few AAA at-bats last year. Again, these guys did not have a regular... I didn't like that sleeve. Give it a new one. There we go. I think having Joey Bart for 3/4 of a season is actually more important than Posey for the full one. I don't know, what spring training is going to show. If he does struggle, he absolutely needs to go back. You know what? We haven't pulled a vintage stock card yet. No. We've pulled a lot of ones that are scarcer, actually. And maybe that's why. Mookie Betts. Rainbow foil. We've pulled a bunch of number to 70, number to 50. Yeah, although you do need good bench players too. But if they could maybe trade him, there's Bubic. If they could trade him for an arm, that'd be good. Posey, I think, is too much the face of San Francisco to put him on another team. I think they got lucky with the call on Bumgarner. It was time to not go down that rabbit hole again, and they got out just in time. Peterson. But yeah, Posey is probably primed to be a DH. And, you know, I mean, when you catch for 10 years, that's going to happen. McKenzie. And numbered 73 out of 199, Aaron Nola, Phillies. A little off on that centering. The serial number is in the black border. Jeez. But that is how the cards looked in 1986, so it's all fair. Yeah, he did. He was a good innings guy for the longest time. You know, is his career necessarily dead? I wouldn't say he's necessarily dead, but you know, maybe the shortened season could rejuvenate him a little bit. Who knows? Well, I think we're beyond the point of potential for Nola. He's an ace. And, I mean, he's been around since, what, 2013? He's in the prime of his career. He don't have forever anymore. Oh, there you go. I don't know. He might be too important of a piece to get rid of. All right. Last stack here. Again, this one closes out the break. And then we'll be back on a little later for Topps WWE Finest. We haven't had an SP yet. So they're only like one in every, like, what was it? 3 boxes or so in the jumbos. Like they're like 2 per case roughly. So on these it's 1 every 79 packs. So it's about an average of every 24, 48, 72, 3 to 4 boxes. So it doesn't surprise me we haven't seen one yet. We may not see one in this break. Especially since I think we saw 2 in the first break. Reds, Tyler Stevenson with a rainbow foil. It's got a print line on it. I don't know if you can tell in the camera. That was like borderline, does it get a top loader or not, but... Tino, Javier Baez, yeah, there's definitely some question marks in the Yankees rotation, and let's face it, there's health question marks in their lineup every day. It's not been glorious the last few years for them as far as injuries go. But all things considered, if Judge stays healthy, if Stanton stays healthy, if Kluber is back to form, if Tyon stays healthy, I put the Yankees behind the Rays and the Jays right now. But all things considered, they have the potential to be the best team in baseball. 59 out of 70. Pirates with the 70th anniversary, I guess that's platinum. So that's a wide that's a wide range there, but yeah. The Yankees, they're either the third best team in their division or they're the best team in baseball. And depending on how many bite the dust over the course of the year, somewhere in between. Christian Pache. Wade Boggs. Javier Baez. Evan White. Nolan Arenado. Luis Garcia. I think the luster of Judge being a New York Yankee and having had such a milestone rookie season, the fact that he was like 25 years old during his rookie year kind of gets lost. Whereas in the hobby, we penalize guys like Jose Abreu and even to some extent, what the heck's his name? Yeah, a guy like Uleski Gurriel. You know, these guys come up and they're like, oh, they're like 25, 26, 27, 28 years old. And they're rookies. You know, we forget about that Ichiro guy that came over from Japan that retired not too long ago, right? But, you know, age was never a factor for Judge in the hobby. His body type, you know. I had a friend when CC Sabathia got signed by the Yankees. My coworker at the time was just like, he's going to be a 300-game winner. And I'm like, well, I think he's going to come close. But you look at the size of the guy, and I just don't think he will hold up. Let's recap the key cards from this break. So Braves, Ozzy Albies with a relic card. A's, Jesus Luzardo. Phillies, Aaron Nola, number to 199. Oh, Andrew Vaughn's definitely a future. Pirates, number to 70. Sixto Sanchez with a rainbow foil. Number to 199, Leody Taveras for the Rangers. And number to 150, Anderson Tejada for the Rangers, an auto out of the silver packs. And don't forget, it doesn't take much to be a winner in these little 3-box breaks. I mean, the Braves got a hit, but, I mean, you were pretty much good with this. All right? You get a Pache in every box, and everything else after that is kind of gravy. You know, or the Angels get a couple Joe Adells. 3 would have been nice. So... I don't know. I don't know. We sold out 2. Should I put up a 3rd? Or should I start working tops into some other mixers? I'd rather do breaks that are qualifying breaks if we can. I didn't put those to the side. You got at least 2. You got 2 Bohms and the Nola. I don't remember if you got 3 or not. But usually 3 boxes, you're going to expect to see 2 or 3. I don't know. I'd have to. He's not in this pile. So. I think I saw 3 of Joey Bart. So I remember at least 2, could be 3. You want to do a 6-box break? What do you guys think? A 6-box break? Would you rather do random team or pick your team? That'd count as a qualifier. Or maybe we'll do 5 boxes and just count it as a qualifying break. Put a slabber knocker spot. Something like that. Nah, there's not enough hits for a slabber knocker spot. I'd have to throw something else into that. You like the random? So, I mean, essentially 6 boxes, it would just be twice as much to get in. Or if you want me to shave off a little bit, then we do a 5-boxer, and I'll count it as a qualifying break. All right. I found 1 Bohm so far. I'm sleeving them now, so I don't have to do it later. Again, WWE Finest is going to be breaking within the next couple hours, if anybody wants to get in on that. WWE Finest. I'm going to go over the 4 remaining spots, and then I got a couple things I got to take care of. And then we'll be back. But this is what's available for WWE Finest. Angel Garza, Andrade, Zelina Vega, and Humberto Carrillo. $25. Again, this is a full case of WWE Finest. 8 boxes, yielding 16 autographs in total, plus some nice color. For $40. Aleister Black, Ricochet, Jeff Hardy, Elias, and Jackson Riker. All right, 2 Bohms. So I know we got at least 2. So we probably do have 3 because I think 1 was in the very beginning. Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, $45. Murphy, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, $45. And then the Retribution pack, Mustafa Ali, Mia Yim, Dominic Dijakovic, and the bonus of Stone Cold Steve Austin, $30. Alright, I don't see anybody claiming anything. So those are the 5 spots that are left. And we will see that in a short while. So anybody got anything for me before I sign off for now? Again, we'll be back in a little while. So I guess that's it for now. See everybody soon. And we'll be ripping some wrestling shortly. Enjoy the main event.